welcome to the Hanford Dixon Show. I'm Gabriella Kreuz alongside the top dog. That was a good one. And look how handsome he is today in his little golf shirt.
Good bark. You like this shirt, huh, Gab?
Yeah. You know, it's a toss-up.
Well, you know what? I wore this shirt today because normally in the studio, it is absolutely so hot. And then I get in here today, and it's freezing all of a sudden. And you know what? This is why I'm mad, because you got the memo, but you didn't give it to me.
No.
Because look at you.
I would never
You
do
are
that to
dressed.
you.
Listen to me. You are dressed for the studio today, and I am not.
Okay, to be fair, it has been really toasty in here. And I just so happened to pick this hoodie because I was like, I can muscle through 45 minutes in it. You know, I haven't worn any cool Browns gear in a minute. And then come to find out it's a chill zone.
Gab, I tell you what, I am just sitting here. Obviously, I'm cold, but I'm okay. I can handle it because I'm used to the elements. I can play in the elements.
I know you're mentally tough.
And we won't even talk about that new stadium. We're gonna get into that a little bit. But
yeah, no. Should we talk about it now?
No,
We'll do it for our Browns headlines.
Because Jimmy and Dee came out with a statement, and we're going to get you, possibly, if you would be so kind, to maybe read that statement for everyone.
That's too many paragraphs.
I knew you were going to say that.
That's too many words for this show.
I knew you were going to.
Got it actually right here. I'm eyeballing it from here. He's just asking me to read it because he can't read good up close.
Right. I have my glasses right here. So
I need to borrow those for the one far away. So we're opposites right now. Hanford can't, he's doing this gig up close for this, but then we put some words on screen later we've got to read for you, and I was like, ooh, we're going to have to blow that up because I'm nearsighted, you're farsighted.
Did you know I was in real estate?
I did.
Well, I just wanted to check and make sure you know this.
Yeah,
but listen to this, though. I just want to let everybody know I just listed a great place in the Village in Beechwood.
Oh, okay. West or east side?
A little bit over $500,000, but that's all right. You know, it's a great place for but enough about that. What about the Guardians?
I love that.
Oh my God! Did you see the game?
First of all, what a segue.
I couldn't help it. It just popped in my mind, and I was so excited that I was so mad about a game we almost blew the other day. So go ahead.
We can't have both of us with extra strength ADD like that.
Yeah.
But okay, but let's talk about it. We are, as of shooting this show, 70-49, tied for the best record with the Dodgers in Major League Baseball. Love to see it. We did end on a high note with the Twins. Whew. And I do love that you're such a baseball fan.
Listen to this. I was sitting there, and I was watching the game. I think this was Saturday or Sunday.
Okay.
I think it was Sunday when we loaded the bases. This is the ninth inning. In the ninth, we loaded the bases. Nobody was out, and I'm like, man, you got to be kidding me. We're not going to blow this game. But he got a strikeout, which was great. And then he made the guy roll over on the pitch, and we got a double play, so we won that one. And then the other day, listen to this. I mean, here we are. We're just leading him, I think, 8-3 or something. And all of a sudden, they just come in with all these runs, and they tie the game up, and then they take the lead of the game. But do you know who Big Christmas is?
I knew you were going to bring this up.
If I was a pitcher and I see him standing in the batter's box, it would just freak me out because this guy is, like you said, a monster in there. We have to figure out a way to get him more playing time. I mean, more playing time. I was actually doing an appearance at this little bar, Browns backers bar called Knuckleheads. I was doing an appearance and
perfect spot for you.
Listen, because the Knucklehead and everybody in the place. I'm telling you, watching the Guardians game, and everybody just went crazy when we were able to win that game. This was the one where we loaded the bases, and but it was just so exciting. But again,
they are the Guardiac kids.
You know, I am a huge Guardian fan, but we're still up on and the thing about it, that series were so big because obviously we were playing the Minnesota Twins, and you know they're right behind us, trying to creep and take over first place, but we're not going to let them.
You can never count out the Twins in this.
It's
AL Central.
it's gonna go down to the wire. I think it's gonna go down to the wire. So I'm just really, really excited again. I can't say it enough. I'm excited about
You got to get to a game. Are you going to come to another one? You want me to smuggle you in?
Yeah, can you slip me in?
I can sneak in.
You probably better need to put some over my head if you're gonna get me in there.
It's okay. I know some people.
I can see him now. Hanford, where are you going? Stop it right now! And I would have to stop. But again, I know you want to know what I've been doing. Yesterday, I played golf at Elyria Country Club.
Oh, you played golf? Shocker.
And it was an event for Lorraine CCC. And boy, they do a really good job of helping these kids with these scholarships. But anyway, I was on one hole all day, and I didn't hit it well, so I wasn't too happy about that. But they had all these sponsors, and I want to say I was hitting up all these people to be a sponsor on our show. And we're looking for sponsors for you guys to come and join our show, Gab. So tell them if you want to be a sponsor on the show, you have to hit us up. So that would be a great thing. But anyway, I played golf all day yesterday.
Good stuff.
Didn't play well, so I
need you to put more of a sales hat on.
Well,
you did. You did good right there. That was a nice little organic.
There was a few people out there that I was hitting up, and I think they're going to come through for us.
Yeah, for sure. And we actually already have Northeast Factory Direct, one of our newest sponsors. Really excited to have them. Actually, the owner Alex, I went to high school with his daughter. And
did?
We ran together. Yeah. Cross country and track.
Oh my goodness!
Really sweet family.
They're good. They're good people. I had the opportunity. I told you, Alex. I see him at the gym all the time.
Oh really?
Yeah, I see him at the gym all the
funny.
time, and sometimes I think a couple of times he was in the steam room when I was in there. I'd go in it. What are you laughing?
You guys formed a little brotherly bond in the steam room.
Well, yeah.
Hey man. Hey big dog. This is Hanford in the steam room. Hey big dog. What do you think about being a sponsor on our show?
Yeah. Well, no, I didn't. Actually, he mentioned it to me.
Okay.
So that's a good thing. And after all you have to do is say something to me, and then I'll just take it and run with it. But are you excited now? We have football is going on.
Yeah, we got football stuff. We can talk preseason, the dome, what we're looking forward to, players. Obviously, unfortunately, we just had some of this breaking news with Mike Hall Jr., which is devastating.
Yeah.
In more ways than one.
Yeah. That was a little bit crazy. I heard that, and I couldn't believe it. I mean, I just couldn't believe it. He was in Avon, and obviously he was arrested for what was it? Domestic violence.
Yeah, domestic violence, and I mean the details are pretty egregious.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think this will be a big test for the organization, also just the NFL in general. They have a chance to make a real statement here. 46% of the NFL's audience is women, probably higher than that since Taylor Swift, of course, in the last year. And, it's time to put your money where your mouth is on protecting women, protecting our mothers and our children. So it's devastating to see because we can be better, and these guys are role models, and you don't want to see it swept under the rug. The firearm thing is bothersome. So Hanford, I don't know if you know this, but I run a nonprofit called Love Doesn't Shove. It's dating violence education, so I am in the behavioral sciences, and a lot of that has to do with violence. And the mere presence of a firearm in a domestic violence situation raises the risk of homicide by 500%. So we've got to be better. We've got to be role models. And like I said, this will be a good test for the league, good test for the Browns.
And I could tell this is something that touched you. Yeah, and it touches all of us. For you guys that don't know who Hall is, he's a second-round draft pick out of Ohio State, and
with a big, bright future. That's why you want to see these guys. It's just disappointing. We can be better. We need to be better. Yeah,
it's just not that serious, and regardless of what the situation is, you just walk away and just let it go. But anyway, we just thought we will just mention that, and that's pretty much all we'll say about that.
That's all we'll say about that.
Because I could tell. I'll leave you alone on that subject.
I know Hanford says, I don't want to set you up. Because, well, it's serious stuff. We take the good and we take the bad, and we got to call it how we see it. You know what I mean? So, it is part of this news, and it's unfortunate, not only for him and his family, but especially for his fiance and her family, and just, the statement that it says in general. So
how long have you been involved in that nonprofit?
So I started started Love Doesn't Shove in 2016, became an official nonprofit. So I speak in schools across Northeast Ohio and beyond, all about the dynamics of healthy relationships, and the goal being to prevent violence. So education, Hanford, is one of the best ways to prevent violence.
Right,
You know, if you come from a violent home,
Right.
you're more likely to perpetrate those behaviors and continue that generational cycle of violence. So our biggest interrupter of that, you know, barring that we can't change anyone's home environment or our young early experiences and observations, is really being able to have education and give students the tools to communicate properly, solve conflict nonviolently, and things like that.
Okay. All right. Well, let's keep it rolling.
Yeah, so that's my cause, and appreciate you inquiring. And thanks for being open enough to talk about everything here on this show. We've got more positive Browns news, and we'll give you the headlines right after this. Welcome back to the Hanford Dixon Show. We were just talking about our new sponsor, Hanford Northeast Factory Direct. We're super excited to have them on board. And with that, we are presenting our Browns headlines by Northeast Factory Direct. And, you know, we got to talk about upgrading those worn out cabinets in your home. It's never been easier at Northeast Factory Direct. They've got easy, fast, painless cabinet design process. They're elevating the style in your kitchen, bath, laundry, or mudroom, and it'll make you wonder why you haven't done it yet. Here's how simple it is. You can make an appointment with one of their amazing kitchen designers, bring in some basic measurements, sit back, watch as ideas come to life in beautiful 3D detail on an interactive big screen while you talk through all of the options with the experts there. Whether you know exactly what you want or not, or you're not sure what's going on or what to work into your space, don't worry about it. The designers at Northeast Factory Direct have years of experience, probably design more spaces in a year than those high-end design centers ever do. And we're talking about thousands of kitchen designs. Hanford, this has been a long read. How do you think my reading skills are going? This is our first time trying this.
You're great. You're great. You're almost there. You're almost there.
There's a little bit more, because the best part, the appointment and design are free when you go into Northeast Factory Direct, and no obligations. You can come in, do the whole thing. You can walk away if you want. I love that. They're not pushy. But with that said, don't wait, because if you've been dreaming of the kitchen of your dreams, visit any of our warehouses. They've got warehouses in Cleveland, Euclid, Macedonia, or North Canton.
I didn't know that.
You can also go online, Hanford, which makes it real easy in this.
But I didn't know they had that many warehouses.
Yeah, they got a lot. And they're all really cool. They're big spaces. You know, they're cutting out that middleman, so they're saving you some money. And I'm going to end it on that. Pat, how'd we do? We also want to introduce, we've got a new producer, Pat McGuire. Show yourself on camera.
What's up? Making my Hanford Dixon Show debut.
You got it, Big Dog. Glad to have you,
Absolutely.
Big Dog. Yeah.
Happy to be here. Happy to have Northeast Factory Direct as one of our newest sponsors. Drove past there all the time on West 140th, their Cleveland location, and it's huge warehouse, tons of great selection. So happy to have them aboard.
All right.
Hey guys, what do you think about this? Now, I just thought of this when I was sitting here and you were making that read and talking about them. You know how everyone loves to watch football? And you know, most of the time when they sit and watch football, they're sitting in one of these chairs, recliner or something, chair like that. Maybe, not saying we're going to do this, but maybe we can talk them into giving have someone send a picture in of those old recliners or something, and then we finally throw it away, and we. Some kind of way we come up with.
I like it.
We give someone like the new winner a new recliner delivered by you, Gab.
Okay.
By you.
You gotta help me lift it in
there. Yeah. I was just thinking about that. Well, that's not. We don't know yet for sure, but that's an idea that I was just thinking about. Why? See, that reads you, and
that's cute.
And it inspired me. So
I'm glad. I'm glad my reading skills could really impress to that effect.
You did great on that one, Gab. We have lots of Browns headlines coming into the Hanford Dixon Show. The Browns coming in, they had their first preseason home opener, their only home preseason game this year, 23-10. Any takeaways, any headlines from you guys that you noticed on the first game?
Yeah, Hanford, what were you thinking? Because you were at this game. I know Hanford was up in the media box. He was drinking his little beers. They don't have Christmas sale this time of year.
I know. And you know what? I didn't really have anything to do, so I just go in there and I sit in the cardiac club and I have a cold beer, and I love it when everyone come up to me and I take pictures and sign autographs, and it's just a fun thing. So I don't really watch the game until the next day because obviously I tape it. But it was a pretty interesting game, pretty exciting game. Obviously, we played the Green Bay Packers, who came in here, and I have to say this: they played a lot better than we did, because the score ended up what was it, like 23-10, I think it was, and then when you look at it, they outrushed us. I mean, almost by 100 yards. I mean, they were able to move the football on our defense. And let's don't get carried away here, because this is the preseason. And in the preseason, a lot of these starting players don't play. Guys like Myles Garrett didn't play. Guys like Denzel Ward didn't play. But still, for us to only get 56 yards total rushing, and they rushed for 155, I don't know about that. But, also the passing yards, Green Bay 220, I think we were 188. Total yards 244, 375. We had one turnover. They didn't have any. And penalties, we had 4 for 25, and they were 3 for 11. And there was a lot of bright spots that came out of that game, I think, on our side. I think, and we're going to get into this quarterback room a little bit later. But DTR, I think he played extremely well. When you look at it, we really have 4 good quarterbacks.
Yeah, what do you think about this quarterback room? We could kind of do quarterback room, cornerbacks. We can also look at what else did I want to dive into? Cornerback before the show.
Well,
yeah, Hanford, were you surprised Deshaun Watson didn't play in the preseason opener? I know Jordan Love played for the Packers.
He did, and obviously Jordan needed some work, and I think Deshaun needs some work too. But I wasn't surprised that he didn't play. Because, again, we have 3 of these games, and I think what's going to happen is as we go along, and it wouldn't surprise me if he didn't play in this game against the Vikings coming up.
Yeah.
But I think what Stefanski and Dorsey and those guys wanted to see, they wanted to see the backup quarterbacks. And obviously, Jameis started this game, played okay, played a few plays, and then we had Tyler Huntley, who played a little bit. But I thought the guy who I thought played extremely well was DTR. I mean, I thought he moved the offense. I thought he did some things. He were able to scramble a little bit, make some big plays, get some first downs, and he was able to throw some really, really good footballs. And Thrash, or whatever the guy's name, this new receiver
we
have. Yeah. His name. I know his name is, what is his name?
Jamari
Trash. Yeah.
Brand new draft pick for the Browns this year. So.
Right. I thought he played extremely well. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well,
you're going to say something funny.
No. I was just going to point out that, plus Deshaun sitting out, these are extra opportunities to get banged up. Like, even in your playing days, what did you do? 4 preseason games? You know that it's still taking a toll on you.
Boy, it did. But I know, when I played, I knew these games, we needed these games to get ready for the regular season. And we played, I would say, like the first preseason game, I played probably a quarter. The second, and I increased that as I went. The second preseason game, I played maybe a half. And the third preseason game, I played a half. And then the fourth preseason game, I really wanted to play the whole game. And the reason why I wanted to play the whole game, because I knew the following week that we were going to have to play the whole game because the regular season starts. So I just wanted to, I was already in shape, but I wanted to get that feel again of playing a whole game. That's why I don't understand why some of these guys today, I mean, you got some guys, they don't even play in the preseason. I mean, they don't play at all in the preseason.
Yeah.
But I think when we're going to see getting back to, go ahead.
We're probably, aren't they trying to make it extinct anyway, Pat?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, Joe Burrow came out, a couple of weeks ago at this point, and said that basically the NFL is going to try to get down to 2 and then get away from the preseason. So it's not going to be much longer of those days, Hanford, where you're playing a half to get yourself ready for the season. but that also entails they'll probably have an 18-game season at the same time, which would be crazy.
But I understand what they're trying to do, and I understand why they don't want to do it, because you got these guys today. You're paying them a lot of money. I'm talking about a lot of money as well, and they don't want to see any of these guys get hurt.
Right.
But I think you're hurting them, and they're getting hurt when they don't play, because it's so hard. And you guys have to understand this, and I'm sure you do. But it's so hard when you go through the entire camp and you don't really have full speed tackling.
Okay.
You have to have contact. You have to do that before the season starts. And I'm not saying you have to play them like I wanted to play a whole game or a whole half or anything like that. But you have to get them in there, and they have to get some reps out. And I think that's very, very important to do that. But like, for instance, we have the Vikings coming in. I think this is the way, obviously, a lot of teams are going today. But we still did that because I remember we used to go up to Buffalo, and we used to play against the Buffalo Bills or practice against the Buffalo Bills. But when you're in that, it's such a control setting of things you could do. For instance, you can have they could practice that old crazy new kickoff rule, and I'm not going to even ask you about that rule. I'm not going to even. I still don't think they don't understand it right now.
Hanford was giving me a hard time pre-show because I asked him, what I ask you about preseason games, you're like, it's not like I played 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, hold up, because we're getting a lot of changes out here. Some of them are more complex than others. It's not to call you old, Top Dog.
Yeah,
it's just
right.
to acknowledge we do have these different changes that are being made all the time.
But I understand where you were coming from. But do you see them sometimes? Say, for instance, they changed the kickoff rule, and I guarantee you, when they were in that room and they had to vote on this rule, whether or not to do it or whether or not to do it, there was a lot of people that didn't want this new kickoff rule, and you could tell, even though they've had time to work on it, some of the kick returners and some of the people on that special team, they're confused. I mean, because they don't know whether I'm in that zone, whether return the ball, whether just take a knee or whatever. It's just crazy because you see them all trying to make a mistake. But here's I think the full reason. I think what they don't want to do is they try not to eliminate that full speed contact that's developed on that kickoff return, and obviously that caused a lot of injuries. I think what happened though in the Super Bowl game, I think they went through the Super Bowl game, and I don't think they returned one kickoff return. I could be wrong, but I think that was one of the big factors on why they changed that rule. But
touchbacks are a huge problem in the NFL, and we got a legend coming in, Josh Cribbs. He's here. He's the show right after us here on the Big Play Sports Network. They've got a lot to say about that.
All right, we'll continue to look at the biggest Browns stories of the week when we return. Welcome back to the Hanford Dixon Show. I just wanted to do a quick impression. Hanford brought these in you probably got these from the media box.
Yes, I did.
Who am I?
You are.
It looks pretty official, actually.
The head coach.
I'm looking pretty good.
You are looking pretty good. You are the head coach.
I love that you brought these in for us. I'm checking out, okay, Browns offense, defense, specialists. This is pretty nice. Thanks.
Since you said that, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Stefanski would not give up the play calling to Dorsey.
Oh, yeah, this is old news.
So what do you think of those plays? Are they pretty much the same? Anything new in there, or pretty much the same old Stefanski?
He's got to have a couple of tricks up his sleeve. I mean, but hey, listen, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. What he's got going is pretty good.
You know what? I understand why he did. Head coaches, they just some of them love to call plays, and he like to call plays, and he just can't give it up. And he's not the only coach that can't give it up. So we'll see, though. We'll see this year. But, I like Kevin. I like him.
We like Kevin. I think the
Coach of the Year twice.
2 times, baby. And the guys really like him, too.
And let me say this. They don't just give that award away. I mean, you have to earn that award. And I think both times he earned that award.
Yeah. We're happy for him. We're happy to have him. Hey, we got to talk about the Browns releasing this video showing their plans for the new stadium. And I need to get your thoughts on this.
You know what? This is crazy. I mean, because I'm kind of both ways here because
come on, you can't pick a middle ground like that.
Well, I understand the economics part about this whole thing. I mean, I understand why they want to go or possibly want to go, and nothing's been agreed upon seriously yet. But I understand why maybe they want to go to Brook Park. But I just kind of like that stadium being downtown. I like, for instance, in December, we're in the playoffs, and we have like the LA team that's coming in here, and it's cold, and the stadium is open, and it's snow all over the ground, and just because I can imagine those wide receivers trying to make a cut on the grass or turf or whatever we have there, and they can't do it. You know, it's really, really hard. So that's why I said I'm torn, but obviously understand, because if you build a stadium in Brook Park and it's a dome, I mean, there's so many other things that you could do, so many things you can have in that stadium, not just a football stadium. And I think what happened is, have you ever been to the stadium in L.A.?
No.
Let me tell you something. It is just.
Nick has. He said it was awesome.
It is awesome. I mean, it's just an experience in itself. So I think that's what Jimmy and Dee is trying to do, and
trying to upgrade our look.
And like I said, I'm not mad at them. Whatever, regardless, I can go either way. Whichever way, whatever they decide to do as far as the stadium, whether they're going to renovate the old one right downtown or whether or not they're going to build a new one in Brook Park, I am with them 100%. Just as long as the Cleveland Browns stay here in Cleveland. And I've had some really ugly texts and come to me, but they what toward me, they were toward the Browns, because if the Browns moved the Browns out of Cleveland, it's some people that were pretty upset.
Yeah, it would definitely impact the city, which I think is why the city came out with their pleas on, hey, wait, what about this? Can you listen to us on this? What if, we could just renovate the stadium we've got?
Well, listen to this.
But from a finance standpoint, does it make sense?
Jimmy and Dee came out with the statement. You don't have to read the whole thing, but just some of that. I mean,
I was
it's
just
pretty
looking
long.
at this.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like, they are trying to take into account what the county has come back with. So they're saying, we've received the county's response. We're still in the process of gathering information, and they want to do diligence on both parts, especially something of this magnitude. We're talking a big billion-dollar project.
Yeah.
So they're looking forward to the City of Cleveland's responses to our detailed questions regarding their proposal. And we remain committed to collaborating and communicating with all parties involved, working together, keep an open mind, while thoroughly vetting this project is critical to achieving the goal of finding and executing the best long-term sustainable stadium solution for the region. I don't know. I don't know if this is just business talk, if they really mean it, but they're pretty committed. They've got their plans, or.
Well, I think they came out with that statement because, just like you said, I think the city of Cleveland wanted them to respond by the 12th or something. I want to say they wanted the Browns to give them a response by the 12th, and I think that was their response. But still, I mean, we're up in the air. No one knows what's going to happen, or whether they're going to stay in Cleveland or whether they're going to move to Brook Park. But the Browns will still be in Ohio, and Brook Park is not that far.
Yeah.
But it's just, to me, it's just not downtown.
I know, and all the businesses affected, and it's kind of nice to have the trio right there. It's very Cleveland of us. I feel like we have as our city, we have a certain brand, and we are who we are, and it's not that I'm not open to change. The Guardians changed their name. Some of these changes
We've had nothing but change lately.
Are positive, we got to be open to change, but this one, I don't know, not to be an old head or something, but I guess I am kind of leaning more towards the city.
You've been hanging around me too long.
I think so. Jeez.
What do
It's
you guys
starting to
think?
wear off on you.
I know. I'm kind of like, man, this nostalgic feel of being downtown, and it's good for the city, and it's our image, whatever.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit on the Matt Fontana show in the past couple of days, too. Do you think the nostalgia for being downtown and all the memories made downtown is what's holding people back, or do you think Brook Park as a location What do you guys kind of think
it's probably
there?
the nostalgia, to be honest.
Yes.
The Muni
Yes.
rats,
Has to
how
be.
many times
Yes.
somebody out there's like, how many times
People getting
I got
married over
all
there.
my stuff at 3, or
Yes.
I camped out in a tent, and then we went and we fought,
Yes.
and we watched them lose 16 in a row, but then we came
Yes.
back, and then they
Yes.
were in the trenches of this organization.
You go, girl.
Fans. And so, like, it's hard for us to part with our pain. Isn't that weird? That's a trauma response.
I think you're right, though, because I've actually had some people also just, they went back to Art Modell. I mean, they went. It's just like Art Modell leaving, taking the Browns away from Cleveland. I said, first of all, he didn't take the Browns. I mean, he left the Browns with the name. He left the Browns with the colors, and because he could have taken all that away when he left and went to Baltimore. But I'm kind of torn. My opinion is I'd much rather see him stay downtown, but I don't even know, though. I guess the price is just too much if they were to try to. I don't even know if they could put a dome stadium downtown. That would be.
The planned renovations would take at least $1 billion, and it wouldn't really.
Just for the plan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just for the renovations. So I think the moving to Brook Park thing, the Haslam's own the Columbus Crew as well, and in the soccer team in Columbus. So kind of soccer games up here in Cleveland would be,
they're doing it.
a lot of different
They're
things you
doing
can
it,
use
guys.
with that stadium.
We gotta.
Absolutely
Our opinions
right.
don't matter.
Well,
anymore.
again, they have to do what's best for them, and then they're looking at. But I think they're weighing everything, and I think they're if there's a way for the Browns for them to keep this thing downtown, I think they'll do it. But if not, I don't see them not moving to Brook Park. And again, I don't have a problem either way. Do you have a problem either way? I know you would. I know you would much rather them stay downtown.
Listen, I have a preference, but I'm also open to change. I think it's an important quality to have. To be adaptable and to still, have camaraderie with you. No matter what, this is still our city.
Okay, enough about that. Let's.
Yeah, we got to take a break anyway.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be back with more Hanford Dixon Show right after this. Welcome back to the Hanford Dixon Show. We've got more headlines for you. NFL headlines this time, Hanford, brought to you by our friends at Garage Beer. I know you like your beer, and how do you feel about Garage Beer?
I like it. It's pretty good. I like it.
They say it's beer that, what is it, Pat? Beer that tastes like beer?
Beer that tastes like beer.
Beer that tastes like beer.
I don't know if you saw their newest spokesperson are the Kelsey brothers, Travis and Jason Kelsey.
Yeah.
Cleveland's own.
Really?
I know
I bet they like that beer.
Oh, yeah.
I know why Hanford had that response because it's not as potent as, say, a Christmas ale.
That's
but
right.
that's the whole
yeah.
point.
That's
it's
right.
just beer that tastes like beer, baby.
You can have it. You can have it, but
Absolutely.
I like it. I like that beer, though. I like that beer. Garage Beer.
And Garage Beer sponsors our NFL headlines here on Big Play Sports Network on the Hanford Dixon Show. Lots and lots of drama. It's that type of year. It's that type of the time of the year, I should say. Wide receivers being divas. We saw Amari Cooper not that long ago, CD Lamb, Hassan Reddick on the defensive side for the Jets. But you saw this Brandon Ayuk and Amari Cooper saga.
There's
Amari
a common
Cooper.
theme.
Oh, boy. What did you guys think? Amari Cooper, there was trade talks. Would he be traded for Brandon Ayuk? But now Amari Cooper seems like he'll be here to stay for the season. What did you guys think of that whole drama?
Well, I have to say this is
It'll
about
pass.
Yeah, but Brandon. I mean, he doesn't even want to play in Cleveland. I mean, who the hell does he think he is? I mean, how can you not want to come to Cleveland and play with this team that we have? Our football team is loaded. I mean, absolutely loaded. But I don't think we need him anyway, because when you look at our wide receiver room, that room is just packed with talent. And again, I'm going to talk about a guy who I like. We drafted him last year. I think he's going to be a big part of this whole thing, Cedric Tillman. You heard me talk about him, Gab, all the time, talking about he's a big target. And I think that guy is going to be pretty darn good. Obviously, we have Amari Cooper, who is our number one receiver. Guy's not very fast, but he seems
He's a tactician.
he gets open and run great routes, and when the ball's coming to him, he's pretty much going to catch the football. And we talk about Jamari, who this guy, how fast is this guy? I mean, one thing I wouldn't let him do, I wouldn't let him off the line of scrimmage because he's too fast. Because you don't want to have to run behind him. But again,
Flash. We need to come up with these nicknames already.
But that's what we do as a defensive back, as a corner. We go against world-class sprinters. And guys, I didn't even talk about the kid who you see me smiling right now. I'm talking about the kid we brought in from Alabama, baby. Roll Tide. I'm talking about Jerry Jeudy. Not only did we bring him in, we gave him a contract extension. And this guy, Gab, let me tell you something. You talking about also can stretch the field? He can stretch the field and he can catch it. So that wide receiver room is just packed. Oh, and talking about the tight ends, Njoku.
Oh.
I mean, he might as well be a wide receiver because linebackers can't and safeties can't cover him. He's a matchup nightmare. You have to put a corner on this guy if you're going to cover him. So Deshaun has some weapons. He's got some weapons, Gab, that he can go to, some weapons that he can throw to.
He does. And, I got a chance to talk to Njoku over at his celebrity softball game. It's hard to believe because we've seen the shirtless pics, but he did say he's worked his butt off this season. Like, this is the hardest offseason he's had for himself, which is kind of crazy to think.
Let me tell you guys something about Njoku. And again, I know you guys already know this, but tough. I mean, tough. We all watched what happened to him last year. Okay. I said it 2 or 3 times, and I get emotional talking about this. I can't even imagine putting on a helmet and playing with with the injuries he had. I mean, this guy is something else. I mean, he is a tough cookie. I think he's going to have and he was rewarded. I mean, he's got a new contract, but I think he's going to have an even better year than what he had last year. So offensively, Dorsey's got some weapons, and Stefanski's got some weapons and some things that he could do with that offense.
And one of the big things, too, Hanford, to look for this year, Amari Cooper, where they just restructured his contract, so he'll be playing on a 1-year deal for the Browns this year. But week 1, it's circled. His former team, the Cowboys, CeeDee Lamb has a lot of drama going on with him as well. But what do you think week 1? Who gets better, Amari Cooper or CeeDee Lamb? Who has a better game?
Oh, my goodness. First of all, we don't know whether CeeDee Lamb is going to be there because he hasn't reported to training camp unless he comes today. He hasn't reported to training camp. And, guys, I don't know what Jerry Jones is thinking about. Jerry Jones has lost his mind, but again,
he said there's no sense of urgency, and I think that I don't know if you know what this means, but CeeDee Lamb quote tweeted that, and he just put LOL.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you understand. In young people terms, that means that he.
Oh, wait a minute! Just throw a rag over my head or something.
What does LOL mean?
Laughing out loud.
All right, there you go. My man.
I'm not even going to answer that question. But on a serious note, you're right. I mean, Jerry is, I don't know, but I don't know why he won't sign this guy because if you look at it now, the market has been set with all these wide receivers. I mean, these wide receivers are getting paid pretty much like quarterbacks right now. And CeeDee Lamb, I mean, he put up big numbers. I mean, huge numbers last year. And I think Emmitt Smith came out and he was strongly against Jerry Jones not signing CeeDee Lamb. He said he's putting Dak Prescott, his quarterback, in a really, really tough position by having him possibly start the season or during training camp without his number 1 receiver. So who knows what Jerry's going to do. But it wouldn't bother me at all if when we open the season up and CeeDee Lamb is not over there on the Dallas sideline and he's not coming out with that helmet and those shoulder pads and a uniform on. So that would make me happy. But to answer your question, who I really think would have the better game, oh, no, that's tough, Dawg. That's tough. But see, here's the problem.
Do you believe in it's called a revenge game? Your former team, when you play against your former team, do you believe in a revenge game narrative?
Yeah, but here's the problem with CeeDee Lamb. Here's the problem he's going to run into. We have Emerson and Ward, 2 guys that he would have to go up against. And me personally, I don't think Newsom's going to be ready for the first game. I hope he's ready.
Yeah.
But that hamstring, they had surgery on that hamstring, so that's going to be tough. That's really, really going to be tough. But hopefully he's ready to go and all set and ready to go. But you look at our secondary, we have some guys that can cover. Was I supposed to jump in that yet? Because I know you were going to ask me about that. So I'm a little bit ahead of myself on.
I know you're already in on this. Go for it.
I'm a little bit ahead.
We did quarterbacks. We got to do cornerbacks, receivers. You got. You went in on that.
And I didn't even mention Cam Mitchell. This kid, I mean, he's in his second year. And I'm telling you, he's a guy, if Greg Newsome can't play, he's a guy that's going to step in there and hold that secondary down. But I don't think I think when they rated the secondary, I don't think ours should have been higher than the numbers actually were. I don't think we're in the top 5, and I think we should be in the top 5 because, again, I say it again, Denzel Ward is playing extremely well. Emerson is playing extremely well. Newsome is playing extremely well. And then Mitchell will play extremely well if he's in there. So defensively, we're going to be okay. We just have to learn how to travel well. That's going to be the big question with us.
Speaking of defenses, too, one of the biggest storylines in the NFL has been Hassan Reddick, who just got traded to the New York Jets. Have you guys seen this?
Yeah, requested
Unbelievable
a trade.
stuff. Requested a trade from the Jets,
The
and
team
that was
said
yesterday.
they won't trade him.
Yeah, it's kind of a hostage situation over there in New York, and I didn't think it would include Aaron Rodgers, which is kind of crazy. But Hassan Reddick just got traded for in March from the Philadelphia Eagles, and now he wants out. What do you guys think?
And here's what's crazy. These guys, and he's under contract. I mean, he's under contract.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're under contract, you go in, you still play, you try to negotiate while you're under contract. I could see it if you didn't have a contract. It's a totally different story. But when you're under contract, you go in, you try to negotiate. I think they're fining him like $50,000 a day or something like that. Every day that he's not there or he's not participating or whatever, they're going to fine him about $50,000 a day. You go in, you eliminate all that, and I'm sure they will try to work out a deal with him. But again, it's not our problem. He's not on our team, so we're not worried about it. If you want to stay out, you stay out. That's where you have to give Andrew Berry and all his guys a lot of credit. They've done a good job keeping this football team together. They've done a good job signing free agents and the draft picks and keeping everybody healthy. And you mentioned it, talking about Amari Cooper. I mean, Amari Cooper was a guy who, he was holding out a little bit, but Andrew Berry found a way to make him happy and found a way to make him get into camp so he wouldn't miss any of this training camp.
Leading you into like how many years do you think you could take off of NFL football and come back and play?
Ooh, that's tough. Okay, now I see where you were going. I thought you were talking about a guy could take off of practice a few weeks and not show up, but years?
Yeah, years. Isn't that crazy?
Well, I think it depends also on the position because
that's a fair point.
Yeah, it depends on the position because I think if you're on a defensive line or offensive line or something like that, I think that's a little bit different than you say being a quarterback or you being a cornerback. I think that's a good question. I think the answer to that question is depending on the position, but I don't care who you are. You can't stay away too long. You can't stay away like 2 or 3 years because very seldom do you see anyone staying out of the game 2 years or 3 years past that and then coming back and jumping on the team and not missing a beat. It's not going to happen because these guys are getting bigger, they're getting faster, and they're better each and every year.
Yeah, the headline, Gab, you're talking about Martavis Bryant signed with the Washington Commanders. So a little bit of a weapon for brand new quarterback Jaden Daniels, but taking that much time off of out of your career, at least 3 years?
Yeah.
I'll tell you this. I would take Josh Gordon back at any time.
Yeah,
I'd take him right now.
Absolutely.
I still believe in him. Those are all of our headlines. Hanford, brought to you by brought to you by Garage Beer. What is wrong with you?
Oh man,
we're in the garage. The beer.
I don't get paid enough to work with this guy.
I know.
We'll see you after this.
Okay.
Welcome back to the Hanford Dixon Show. You know what you haven't covered yet, Hanford, is position battles in camp and how important those are, and what are you looking for?
You know what? I think the number one thing with our team is the quarterback battles. I think obviously we know who our starter is going to be. That's Deshaun when healthy, and I think Jameis is the number 2 guy. Who's going to be that third quarterback? Because I'm pretty sure we're going to carry 3 on our squad, and we're talking about DTR and Tyler. Those 2 guys, I think those 2 guys are battling out for that third spot. I don't understand. If I was Tyler, and there's no way I would have signed with the Cleveland Browns knowing that we had DTR, because he's a guy that we drafted and we brought in here and didn't play bad last year. I think he was put in a really terrible position because this guy had to come in and he had to play a game where he really didn't get all the reps. And as a quarterback, it's very important if you're going to start or if you're going to play, you have to go and get all the reps in practice. Now, you have to be ready at all times. I understand that, but still, it really helps you out if you're getting all the reps. But I think that's going to be my number one battle. I think also, too, you got to look at those running backs. I mean, we got Nick Chubb, who's coming back. Nick Chubb, obviously, coming back off of another surgery on that same knee. Again, if anybody could do it, Nick can do it. But we just got rid of a guy who I really, really liked. I think, was it Kelly? I think it was named Kelly. Then Kelly Jr. I was shocked when we terminated his contract. We have Strong, who's a good back, and then who else we got? Jerome Ford.
Foreman,
yeah,
well.
and we got Jerome Ford also. So I think that running back room is strong. I think that running back room is going to be good. But hopefully Nick Chubb is back where we don't have to worry about that position, because I'm telling you, I don't have to tell you guys, because you know how Nick Chubb is. When he's up and he's running, I mean, you're talking about a guy as a defensive back. I don't want to see Nick Chubb coming at me north and south. I just
only
don't.
Northeast Factory Direct.
Yeah. I don't want any part of that. I mean, just keep him away from me. But other than that, I forgot to say this. I know you got another question for me, but I forgot to say this. At the center position, that's going to be. We just brought back Nick Harris. You remember we let him go somewhere else, and then we just lost the center to surgery. But Nick is back, so that's a big thing with this on that offensive line.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit before the show how important it is this preseason. Even if you're not going to make the team, guys are still putting a resume together of sorts. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, Gap, that's very, very important, because when you look at it, I want to say there's 53 men on the regular roster, and then they're going to carry another 16 on what they call the practice squad, or however you want, that they can call up at any time. And these 2 remaining preseason games are very, very important to these players, because what they're doing is they're putting themselves on tape, and what other teams can do, they can go look at that tape and evaluate those guys. So that's why it's so important for these guys, each and every play, whenever they get a chance to go out and play, that they do it, they play extremely well. And that's why when they bring in these teams to go against someone else, go against the opposing teams, it's important that you play well, because you never know. You never know when something's going to happen. See, football's, as you know, you get a lot of injuries, and next guy up, somebody have to step up. So, but that was a great question, because they have to put themselves on tape.
Pat, we got to take. Is this our last break, or are we done?
Yeah, we made it, guys.
Wow.
We made it.
Oh, he'd love to stay and chat, Hanford, as we do.
Yeah, a lot of good Browns headlines brought to you by Northeast Factory Direct.
Some people say I'm no good. Take me out, Gabby. Take me out.
Crazy as can be.
All right. Go ahead.
I get drunk in the afternoon. Is that the word?
No, we're done. We're done. We're done.
All right, we got to get out of here. We'll see you next week. Thanks. Shout out to our new producer, Pat. We will see you on the Hanford Dixon Show
Thanks, Pat.
next week.